Ernst Winter has a PhD in international law. He was a diplomat in the Austrian Foreign Service for 10 years, and from 1968 through 78 was a director with the United Nations.
My greatest concern really is the growing interest and dedication and application of Eastern mystical thought and practices within traditional Christian groups and churches. There's a vacuum, there's a longing. They want to be filled with, quote, religious experience.
Today's New Age teachings falsely claim that Hindu spiritual experiences are compatible with Christianity. And the incredible thing is that so many Christian leaders, through their books, magazines, sermons, radio and TV programs, encourage millions of Christians to seek Christianized Hindu experiences.
Many people who are in the Christian church have come to us and have had deeper experiences of spirituality and of God as a result of this meditation.
As a society, we've become geared to basing our beliefs on our experiences. If our experience and our feelings tell us that something is valid and genuine and good, then we automatically assume that that is the measure of absolute truth.
No distinction is made whether this is a spiritual experience coming from God the Father or from the ruler of this world. The appreciation of Satan or the devil or demons has diminished enormously because rationality says there cannot be a Satan, cannot be demons. These are psychological phenomena, maybe even have to be treated by a psychiatrist. Opening, therefore, to spiritual experiences one's soul opens many people to the occult.
The Jesus who came to me in times of deep meditation gave me visions and experiences that were beautiful beyond description. I was convinced that because I was witnessing miracles of healing, because these things are so filled with love, they must be good and from God. And yet one day it occurred to me that I had no objective, absolute truth against which to test my experiences, that my feelings, my emotions, perhaps were open and subject to some form of subtle manipulation which I didn't understand. At that point, I decided to look into the Old and New Testament. I knew that I'd fallen then for the Jesus of the counterfeits.
Trying to develop spirituality based on feelings, ecstasy or experiences is like building a house on sand. Our relationship with God should be built on a solid foundation of biblical knowledge.
Now, I believe that we are challenged to test the Spirit, that we should read Scripture, that we should study the Bible, and that we should not value experiences higher than the Word of God.
Biblical meditation is thinking deeply on the person and work of God and Christ, concentrating on and knowing His Word.
Most Catholic monasteries and most Protestant Bible schools have introduced one system of meditation or another, and they are based upon the practices of yoga. Many of the church people, and particular leaders of the churches and denominations, look with great hope to Eastern mysticism that it would bring new life into a dead body.
I recently graduated from a major American theological seminary, and I've seen an alarming influence of Eastern mysticism in terms of using meditation techniques, biofeedback, self-hypnosis, autosuggestion as a tool in order to gain mental and physical health. The danger to the students is that these professors are using Christian terminology in order to describe Eastern techniques. One of the professors who is teaching Christian meditation told us to empty our minds because we should kind of image God in this meditation.
The belief that we can create reality with our minds comes directly from the Hindu concept that everything is an illusion, or Maya. This is the new delusion in transpersonal psychology, and it's rampant even in the evangelical church today, where it's becoming increasingly popular to believe that we enhance worship by visualizing an image of God or of Jesus, that we create the answer to our prayers by visualizing what we're praying for. Creating a visual image of Jesus or God in our minds is no less idolatrous than if we made the same image out of wood or stone. Forcing God to participate in a situation or honor a desire that I have visualized in my imagination is simply a devious way of attempting to manipulate him into doing what I want without admitting it.
While infiltrating the Christian church, Eastern mysticism is also powerfully influencing world politics. Under the umbrella of the United Nations, countless New Age groups spread their philosophies worldwide. Many UN leaders, UN agencies, and the World Council of Churches with its deep UN ties promote New Age beliefs and practices. The UN has its own meditation room and resident guru, Sri Chinmoy. Even the United States Pentagon has meditation rooms. A graduate of Harvard School of Divinity, Leland Stewart, directs the Unity and Diversity Council, a powerful New Age promotional network that originated with a 1965 directive of the United Nations General Assembly.
Unity and Diversity Council is a worldwide coordinating body of what we call it individuals, organizations, and networks looking toward a time in which there will be one single organized energy of networking throughout the planet.
Under Stewart's leadership in 1982, this group linked arms with Graham Wilson's Mind, Body, Spirit festivals, forming a vast army dedicated to the merger of all religions into one, under a world leader.
I am very interested in the harmony of all religions. It's not just to give birth to another religion, but rather to produce, let's call it, a universal religious outlook through which there can be a new connecting of all cultures and all religions, all races.
In this growing consciousness of sharing godliness and looking for a leader to lead everyone into this new heaven, the UN plays a very important role inasmuch as it is a support system. Any group that meets to discuss these matters would be very eager and very careful to have UN sponsorship.
Our organization has been represented in the United Nations. We have an office there, and this has been going on for approximately 5 years. We've been involved in all the sessions that are going on in the UN. We've been able to watch and participate, offering meditations and presentations.
How is this possible? I think it became possible by the thought and actions of one man in the UN, Robert Mueller, who was continuously emphasizing that the UN has to be a support system to this conditioning of man, to this sharing desire, to this looking for a one world government, for one world leader, and playing down, and I believe myself correctly, that the UN is not that world government, that it is a conditioning device, that it is an aid, a support system. It gives prestige to otherwise completely outlandish groups.
The Brahma Kumaris World Spiritual University in India is used by the UN and its members for conferences focusing on world peace and unity.
Delegates from all over the world, VIPs, are attending to express their ideas and to experience peace in a very real way themselves. This experience will enable them also to draw up new laws for universal peace. This will be endorsed by heads of state and submitted as a practical form for the United Nations.
Many evenings, the UN building is even used for lectures, talks, meditations, enlightenments on how to make one better world. The leaders are asked to meditate and be involved because this is part of their instruction, their brainwashing, and all this is part of the conditioning for the vision of a new world or of a new age.
This guruistic system in politics is very dangerous for our democratic society. It will at least bring a loss of freedom, a loss of security, and a big danger for all mankind. So I believe Guruism is preparing the world for some political fascism too.
Actually, we're being prepared for this surrender to an authority in a way that perhaps we don't realize. We are going through right now strange bathing in Eastern concepts of consciousness, states of consciousness, bliss, reincarnation, energies, vibrations, all of these words that have become very commonplace really in the Western languages are also modifying our mind. They are changing our way of thinking. And this changed way of thinking puts us into a mental state, if you'd like, and prepares our intellectual functionings for the surrender